In this chapter, we're going to learn how to divide a polynomial by another polynomial. And we're going to learn a method, okay, for doing it. Okay, that method's called an algorithm. An algorithm is just a recipe. And to understand how that recipe works, we have to understand how that recipe works when we're just dealing with plain numbers. So we're going to look at something my son is seeing in grade 5. So we're going to do 178 divided by 3, okay, without a calculator, of course. And to do this, I'm going to do long division. So this is what I'm reviewing with you now. So long division, I put 178. I put the divisor here. So this guy here is called the dividend. This is the divisor. Okay. And ultimately, I will get something called a quotient and the remainder. Okay, so the algorithm starts by trying to look at how 3 fits into, you start with 1, but it doesn't. So then you move on to the next 2 digits, 17. So 3 times what is 17? 3 times 5. So I'm going to put 5 here. And 3 times 5 is 15. Then we subtract 2, bring down the 8, 28, and then we do that again. How does 3 fit into 28? 3 times 9 for 27. We subtract, and then we end up with 1. Now 1 is, first of all, we can't bring down any other numbers, and 1 is clearly less than 3. We can't divide 1 by 3, so that's going to be our remainder. Okay, so remainder. And what we have up there is their quotient. Okay, so from this we get that if we divide 178 by 3, we get a quotient of 59 plus a remainder of 1. So 1 as in 1/3. So it's 59 plus 1/3. Okay. I could also rewrite this equation by multiplying by 3 on both sides. So 178, I could say it's actually 3 times 59 plus 1. Okay, so by doing that, I've written my dividend as the divisor times the quotient plus the remainder. Okay, and I'm going to try to do something similar with polynomials. So let's now move on to polynomials. Now I'm going to do 3x cubed minus 4x squared plus 2x minus 1 divided by x plus 1. Now there's a method, an algorithm for doing that without really thinking, okay, too much, okay? Sort of like this, okay? So here we don't think too much as we perform the steps, okay? So there's something similar, but before getting there, okay, I'm going to try to explain, okay, what we're trying to achieve, and we're going to summarize everything in some sort of setup that looks like that, okay, eventually. So if you find what I'm writing now that takes a long time, maybe it could be done differently, don't worry, it's going to be done differently. But I'm trying to explain how that the mechanics of this algorithms, okay? So I'm going to write, let's write, okay, so this once again is going to be my dividend, the thing I'm dividing, that's going to be divided. This is our divisor. Okay, so I'm going to call this one P of x, and I'm going to call this one D of x. So eventually here, not eventually, but those two are actually polynomials, okay, instead of plain numbers. Okay, that was what we had in our first example, just numbers. But now we have got polynomials. So I'm going to want to write my polynomial or my dividend, P of x, as the divisor times the quotient plus a remainder. So I want to write P of x as my divisor, d of x, multiplied by some quotient. I'm going to call that q. The quotient is also going to be a polynomial. And a remainder, I'm going to call that r of x. That's my remainder, okay? So again, this is my quotient, but it's a polynomial here. And this is a remainder, which is also some polynomial. Okay, let's try to do that. So let's take our polynomial p. And I want to write it as d of x, which is x plus 1, right? The divisor, times some polynomial, okay? Q of x plus a remainder. So I want to do that. Okay. Now, you see, as I multiply this with this, okay, I'm going to want to get this guy here, okay? So what would I need to multiply x by to get 3x cubed? I need to multiply by 3x squared. So my quotient here is going to be something like 3x squared plus something. Okay? All right. Okay. Now I'm going to try to find what that something is. But before that, what I'm going to do is expand. Okay? Expand this guy. So this is going to be x plus 1 times 3x squared plus x plus 1 times something plus r of x. Okay, and to find what that thing is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this on the other side, get rid of it. Okay, so I'm going to do 3x cubed minus 4x squared plus 2x minus 1. Okay. And I'm going to subtract x plus 1 times 3x squared. And what's left on the other side is this. Okay, let's do this. First of all, maybe let's expand this guy to subtract it better. So that's going to become 3x cubed plus 3x squared. Okay. So now to subtract, what I want to show you is I can line up my two polynomials. Okay. So we're just gonna, this is gonna show up in the algorithm. So this is why I want to do it like that here. So we're gonna line up our polynomials and subtract them. Okay. So that's gonna leave me, of course, the 3x cubed and 3x cubed cancel out because that's exactly how I chose 3x squared. I wanted to 3x squared times x to match 3x cubed. So that's 0 for here, of course. And then minus 4x squared minus 3x squared is minus 7x squared, and then there's just 2x minus 1 that remains. Okay, so after subtracting, this is what I get, and that has to be equal to x plus 1 times something. Okay, now what's that something? Well, it's going to be x plus 1 times, now you see, I'm going to repeat what I've done before. Now, x times whatever shows up here needs to give me back this. So what should that be? Well, that should be minus 7x. So my something is minus 7x plus some other thing. Okay, so just understand that my question mark is not the same, does not represent the same quantity now. Okay, so that the whole thing here used to be my previous question mark. Now I know it's actually minus 7x plus something else. Okay. Okay, and what do I do to find out that something else is? Well, I'm going to shift the x plus 1 times minus 7x on the other side. And that's going to be x plus 1 plus some stuff plus r of x. Okay, and to do my subtraction, I'm going to do what I did before. I'm going to line up my polynomials. So x plus 1 times minus 7x, that's minus 7x squared. And 1 times minus 7x, that's minus 7x. And I'm subtracting them. So I'm going to end up with, so 0 here, of course, for the first term, like minus 7x squared minus 7x squared is 0. And 2x plus 7x is 9x. And that has to be equal to x plus 1 times something. Well, what's that something? Again, 9x needs to Right? To get 9x, I need to multiply x with 9 plus some other stuff. Okay, and I keep going. So now it's going to be 9x minus 1. I'm going to subtract x plus 1 times 9. So that's 9x plus 9. I subtract. So I get minus 10 here. And that has to be equal to x plus 1 times something plus r of x. Now, if I multiply x by like some constant here, I'm not going to get minus 10. Okay, so the only way to get minus 10 over there is to make this guy 0 and make this guy minus 10. So this is how I get that my remainder now is minus 10. Okay, so overall, what do I have here? I've got, so overall, what do we have here? To get 3x cubed minus 4x squared plus 2x minus 1, we had to multiply x plus 1 by 3x squared, and then we multiplied it by 7x, and eventually by 9, and our remainder is minus 10. So this thing here is our quotient. This thing here is our remainder. This is our divisor, and this is our dividend. Okay. So everything I've done here, I'm gonna rewrite it in a setup that looks like the setup we have when we're using actual numbers. Okay. So the way we do this is we place our polynomial that we want to divide by something else. Okay, we place the divisor here. Okay, and then we go, okay, x times what will fit into this? Well, x times 3, oh sorry, this is a cube, 3x squared. Oh, actually, I think it's good practice to put, if you've got x squared, line up your x squares like here and there. Okay, it's not a big deal if you don't, but okay, it looks better this way. And then what do? We did, okay, let's go back. Okay, so this is the step where we just figured out that we need to multiply x plus 1 by 3x squared. So we're here. Okay, and then after that we need to multiply these two together, the divisor and the 3x squared, and subtract it from my polynomial. So we're going to do that step now. Okay, so we multiply x plus 1 with 3x squared. So x times 3x squared, that's 3x cubed. So of course those two will cancel out. And then 1 times 3x squared, that's 3x squared. And we subtract those. Okay, so this is where we're subtracting them. So you see here, we're subtracting them. So we get 0, so I'm not going to write it. Minus 4 minus 3 is minus 7x squared. And then I bring down this, well, we'll see what we need to bring down, but okay, maybe this can wait, but we'll eventually bring down like more terms. Okay, and then we repeat the process. Okay, now x times what will give me minus 7x squared? I need to multiply by minus 7x. Okay, so as I do this, minus 7x times x is minus 7x squared. And minus 7 times, right? So I do this times, I do x times this, minus 7x, and 1 times minus 7x, minus 7x. Okay, so now I need to bring down the 2x so that it can be subtracted with the minus 7x. So I don't need to bring down the minus 1 already immediately because there are no constants here below. But if that occurs, if there would be a constant here like that, I would bring down 2 terms. I don't need 2 here. So I subtract them. So 0 for the first 2, and 2 minus 7, 9x. Okay. And now what do I need to multiply x by to get 9x? I need to multiply by 9. And now I multiply 9 by x plus 1. So I get 9x plus 9. So I definitely need to bring down my constant. And I subtract those two, and I get minus 10. Okay. And this performs all the steps I've done here. Okay, but it's more compact. And from this we get 3x squared minus 7x plus 9 divided by x plus 1 is equal to the quotient plus the remainder divided by the divisor. Okay, or I could write just 3. Well, what did I do there? I didn't want to write this here. I wanted to write my dividend. So I can write it also by multiplying on all sides by x plus 1. So I get this if I do it like that. Okay, so that equation here is exactly the same I had over here. Okay, so that's it. That's long division of polynomials. We will do in the next videos more examples.